So when the world is crazy or chaotic, I come to a concert, right? I also go home and I watch and I turn on the BBC. It's not for the news. It's for this show called This Farming Life. Anyone ever heard of it? No, it's kind of very random. It is a show that follows 6 families who are farmers in the Scotland Highlands. So out in Scotland in the way edges of what I consider the world, right? That's the way edges. And they follow these farmers who go against the snow, go against the weather, the heat of the summer, the season that doesn't work out right, and they keep showing up over and over and over again. And it's not just me who loves this show, because usually these farmers have lots of sheep and dogs. Delilah, my dog, loves this show too. And so I turn it on, and she jumps and she snuggles right next to me, and she watches this show about farmers. Ordinary people tending the land, bearing the weather, caring for the animals, showing up. And their quiet courage steadies me. There was this one time where it was a time when the cows needed to come home. This family had a large farm, and this part where the cows were grazing was really separated from the rest of the farm. And it was late autumn, and it looked like in the news that there would be storm after storm after storm. And it's really hard to bring the cows home when it's raining or when the storms are too much, because the mud and all of the drama that could happen. And so it was the sunny day that they had, the last sunny, maybe a couple of days, right, that they had to get the cows into their farm, into the enclosure, so they could spend the winter under a roof. And so one farmer takes his animals, his dogs, Delilah's favorite part, and they shepherd the cows on the way home. Well, this is when tragedy strikes for this time. One of the dogs just collapses. It's so sad. They think had a heart attack and died right there on the field. And this farmer who loved that dog was the center of this farmer's life. This dog was the head dog. He was completely stunned. And so he takes a moment, his trusted friend and partner who had died, and he buries him. He takes a moment out of the day, he goes home, and he buries him. But the cows still need to come home. And so the very next scene, you see him with the other remaining dogs bringing the cows home. That's why it's balm for me. These ordinary people running against these extraordinary experiences and their quiet, steady faithfulness. He knew that he had to bring the cows home, so he got back out there and did it again. Today we pick up today's gospel at a time we've been kind of separating because of Easter. We've been kind of moving off the lectionary, and we pick up the lectionary story right after. I'm going to give you the details that happened right beforehand, so you can kind of understand where we are. See, Jesus says to his disciples, "Follow me." And they follow him. And one of the first things he does with them, he gets them on a boat to go across the sea, to go to a different area, and there's this huge and massive storm comes upon them. You remember this story from a long time ago? We told this story before Easter. This huge storm comes, and it was so incredibly scary, they thought they were going to die. And Jesus calms the storm. And then that fear becomes awe. Like, who is this? And then they cross the sea, and then they go, and this is the first thing that happens. Again, a story full of fear and awe. This incredible story of healing. Here we have a man who is completely overtaken by something, and he has to be chained. They don't know what else to do with him. The town has said, hey, we don't know what to do with you, so they've chained him out into the tombs. They see this as he is lost. We might as well chain him out there. And Jesus finds this poor man lost, unclothed, his chains broken free, and completely lost. And Jesus heals him, restores him, takes the demons right out of him. Now, demons in the first century, they used to believe that humans were very porous and can be completely overtaken by external forces just like that. That's why there's a lot of guarding your faith, hoping that some external force doesn't take over you. Well, in today's world, we don't really have a space for demons, but we do have forces that seem much larger than us, right? We do have forces that tend to take over our best intentions and have us act in ways that we didn't expect or know, or we learn later like, oh my, that's not good. We use terms like structural, right? When we talk about these forces that are larger than us, those forces that we have even in our confession today, the evil we have done, the evil done on our behalf, the evil that enslaves us. Racism, sexism, all those isms, right? And in a day where we hear a story of war, you can't tell me that isn't an external force. Evil done on our behalf. Well, here's the story today. This is where the good news happens. This is Jesus who heals, not just the body and mind and soul of that one man. He heals beyond that. Remind me what the demon's name was? Legion. What is a legion? It's an army. It's a Roman army. This man isn't just possessed, he's occupied. We're talking so much more than just possession here. In another version of the story, when Mark's tells this story, the town that he's in is the very town that the Roman occupiers have leveled after a Jewish revolt. And the pigs? What's up with the pigs? The Gentiles don't eat pigs. The Romans eat pigs. The Gentiles of that region don't eat pigs. The Jewish people of that region don't eat pigs. Who eats pigs are the Romans. That's the food for legion. And so here we have Jesus telling this story or healing this man whose name is Legion. And what happens to those forces? They go into pigs. And the pigs completely destroy themselves. This is political theater too, isn't it? I'm sure those first century Christians loved the story of the Roman Empire being fed to pigs who ran themselves into the sea. I think it's telling us a deep truth that God is a God of hope and liberation. Jesus heals and restores. You see, this is the God we believe in. The God in those places where we only see the end of the story. The storm is coming, we're going to die. This man has nothing to live for, let's just chain him into a tomb. The occupation has happened. War has started. Those places where we see the end of the story, God sees it as a beginning of the story. We believe in a God who heals and restores over and over and over again. And we are invited, just like his disciples, just like the man healed, to follow him and to tell the story. Tell that story of love and healing and restoration, the healing that happens in your life, the healing that you share with others, the love you share with others. Share that story over and over again. And maybe this isn't the end of a story, it's the beginning of a whole new other one. We are called, like that farmer, in the midst of complete destruction, to stand up and keep moving on. The cows need to come home. God's love needs to be proclaimed. We are called to name the demons that affect our world, to stand up to it, and to say no more. Let us be followers of that God, of Jesus, who loves us, restores us, and calls this world and us to healing and restoration over and over again, sending out that love into the world who needs it so dearly. Be the love the world needs. Amen.
Amen.